What do you need, sweetheart? Can't sleep again. It's the third time this week, and you're asking me for help. Fine. Since I'm in such a good mood, I'll help you out. You're in luck. I feel like showing off my skill. I'll start with the most important thing, I guess. I'll mix you a nice potion to get you drowsy fast. Oh, no cooking required. You have to shake this one very well. That's just enough. That's valerian root. But it doesn't taste very good on its own. Special crystal water. Here, drink this. Now it tastes like chocolate chip cookies. Magical, right? Wait till it gets started. Alright. Let's see. Special herbs. can't decide, so I'm just gonna use both. Just lay back and relax, dear. I just need my little seashell. It's pretty, isn't it? Just gonna smudge your aura all around. This should feel really good. Go on top of your head as well. This white sage will remove any impurities from your aura, especially around the head and neck, where you always have so much tension. Delightful, slow, relaxing smoke. I love how it burns so slow that just watching it is almost hypnotic. Just let it consume everything. I'll take all your stress away. Beautiful. Can you feel how the room is clearing up? Do you remember this? It's one of my favorite things to use. Oh. This piece of wood is called Palo Santo. It gives off a much gentler, softer smoke than the white sage did. It's excellent for purification. I think I'm gonna have to light this again. That's just how it goes. The bigger the chunk of wood, the more difficult it is to keep it lit. Let's just let this one burn for a while. That should be better. Give you plenty of smoke to bathe in. Making little ribbons. You can start to feel it. It just makes you feel so peaceful and relaxed. It gives you a very peaceful feeling. fresh protection oil. Wouldn't want to miss that. It'll keep you safe. But most importantly, it'll make you feel safe. Spread this in my palms as always. Now, let's flush out all of the negativity out of your system. Let this spread in your aura for a little bit. I feel better. Okay. Now, I need you to repeat my words. Don't worry, the spell is completely harmless. I'm not gonna call on any deities. Just Mother Nature. And nature isn't evil, right? Okay. I'm gonna draw this on your heart chakra. It's okay, just let it settle. That's okay. Yes, you might start to feel really drowsy, really suddenly. That can frighten some people, but it'll all be worth it when you wake up in the morning. Thank you. I wrote this one myself. I've achieved excellent results with the spell, even on skeptics. Quite proud indeed. Some people may feel a sensation of being comforted, being caressed off to sleep. The first time I did it, I felt what I believe is my ideal mother figure just caress me off to sleep. We all have that within us. The spell will make it so that no matter when you have to get up, you will feel rested and like you've had a good night's sleep. Along with all these other treatments, I've opened all the pathways for giving you an amazing night's sleep and extremely tranquil rest. Well then, I take it you'd like company while you fall asleep. Okay, fine. I was gonna read some more anyway. Just lay back and I'll read to you out of this book. It's the Encyclopedia of Superstitions. I just felt like entertaining myself tonight. Why not start from the beginning? Give me a moment to adjust my seat. To something slightly more comfortable. hearth and home. A place to live is the most significant and probably the most expensive purchase many of us will ever make. Tell me about it. We're only renting, but still. Whether it is a mansion on a hill, a house in the suburbs, or an apartment in the middle of the city, our home represents security and belonging, a place of shelter, so it is hardly surprising that most people protect their homes by buying insurance to pay for damage to the structure itself or to its contents. Still, there have always been those prepared to go one step further than the practical to guard against things going wrong and protect what is theirs. Damn right I won't protect what is mine. The superstitious have always had other ways of shielding their home from misfortune, bad luck, disease, and general calamity, and of attracting good luck and encouraging prosperity. New home, old tricks. Traditionally, there were superstitions for every nook and cranny of the home, and taking certain precautions or watching for omens was a way of life. Despite the way our homes and lifestyles have changed over the centuries, a surprising number of superstitions persist. Moving to a new home. When something begins well, it gives us confidence that things will continue that way. Beginnings are therefore often seen as significant in their own right. This belief makes superstitious people work hard to create good luck right from the outset of a new venture. As moving into a house or apartment marks a beginning, there are many superstitions surrounding the events involved in moving to a new home. Some people believe that things beyond our control, such as the weather, can affect the future luck of a household. It is said to be bad luck to move on a rainy day, for example, yet there is little anyone can do to prevent rain. You can, however, avoid moving on a Friday, which is said to be an unfortunate day for many activities. Well, I'll have you know that Friday is the day ruled by the goddess Venus. So, of course, anything done on a Friday, the day of love, purity, and sensual pleasure, must be bad luck. I can't stress this enough. A woman planting lavender in the garden can bring bad luck on the household. Always be sure that a man plants it instead. Well, how about you shut your whore mouth, you sexist douche? Follow the moon. You can also time your move so that it coincides with when the moon is waxing rather than waning. The waxing of the moon appears in many superstitions, especially those connected with beginnings, as a positive time of the month. I bet they just settled on a waxing moon because it was so hard for so many people to move on a full moon. Floor plan. If you live in an apartment building, you should try to avoid moving to another apartment on a lower floor in the same building. This may be a superstitious way to prevent yourself from going down in the world. You don't need to worry about this belief, however, when you're moving to a different building, which is confusing when it is not entirely clear whether it is its own building or attached to another building, like in my case. Coal, bread, salt, and a new broom. When moving into a new home, it is often thought to be a good idea to take some staples of life with you, such as coal, bread, and salt. Coal signifies warmth, bread represents food, and salt has a number of practical uses, such as keeping out demons. Salt is a mild antiseptic and a food preservative, but it also has a ritual significance as a purifier. So, for an auspicious start to your new life in a new home, salt is sprinkled in the hearths and the corners of every room in the house, and sometimes specifically by children, presumably because they also symbolize purity. Well, that's new. I mean, the concept that the children symbolize purity is new because just a few hundred years ago, okay, maybe several hundred years ago, it was thought that every man was born a sinner. Oh yes, and they made a big deal out of beating the sin out of the children so that they would grow up to be respectable adults. Now we know that's bullshit, but hey, better late than never, right? In Scotland, as early as the 16th century, eggs laid on Ascension Day were hung in the roof as protection against all hurts. Other superstitions recommend bringing a loaf of bread and a new broom to your new home. The bread symbolizes food and plenty, but the broom is a symbol for sweeping out the old spirits or any bad luck left behind by the previous owners. Remember, though, that to bring good luck, it must be a new broom, never an old one. This may be related to a belief that leaning a broom against the bed will cause evil spirits to leap from between its bristles and cast a spell on the bed. It was also believed that leaning a broom in the corner would bring strangers to the house. Not always a good thing. More often than not, a bad thing. Carrying the bride. Ooh, this would be relevant. Another very well-known superstition involving beginnings is the tradition of carrying a bride over the threshold of a marital home, mentioned as far back as the 1st century by the Greek historian Plutarch. Whoever entered the home first would be the master of it, so carrying the bride over the threshold ensures that both parties enter the house at the same time and therefore creates an equal partnership in the home. Oh, that is just so precious as a sentimental thought, isn't it? Alternatively, it may be a tactic to prevent the woman from coming into contact with evil spirits that often lurked under the threshold. It is also thought unlucky if the bride stumbles when entering her new home. Ooh. What if the groom carries her and he stumbles? Will that bad luck rub off on her, or is that just... We don't know, right? Oh, and being carried definitely avoids that possibility too. It seems unlikely that the tradition of carrying the bride over the threshold would have continued unbroken from Plutarch's time. It may have been rediscovered in classic literature, however, and the tradition was revived at some point since the Middle Ages. The elder tree has protective benefits against evil spirits and witches, but cutting, sawing, or tampering with elder in any way after dark will actually attract them. Try me. Gifts for the new homeowners. It is traditional for people visiting you for the first time in your new home to bring such gifts as coal, with its association with warmth. Coal, as a favorite among the superstitious, is a suitable gift. A knife, however, is frowned upon because it might cut love or cause a quarrel. If you do give someone a knife as a present, they must always gift you with a coin at the same time to ensure that you do not sever the friendship. I'm trying to imagine how that is supposed to work. Cats in the new home. Ooh, my favorite. A tradition that originated in the United States is to put the family cat into the new house for the first time through the window rather than the door. This is said to prevent your beloved feline from running away. I don't think Ash is going anywhere. Another tactic is to butter the cat's paws, which usually has the effect of making it stay at least until it has licked them clean, by which time it is hopefully adjusted to its new home. Oh, well, that's just a lovely treat for cats. In Ireland, a country seemingly steeped in ritual and superstition, up until the 20th century, it was considered unlucky to take a cat from an old home to a new one. This tradition sadly promptly resulted in many cats turned out of their homes. That's for dummies, don't believe that. In fact, I argue that leaving your beloved cat behind is 10 times worse luck. Locking out bad luck. Planting for protection. You can safeguard your home from various calamities, including storms, witchcraft, and vermin by using plants. Plant garlic on the thatch over the door to ward off general unpleasantness and things that go bump in the night. It's like vampires. Not moving into a thatched cottage. Don't panic. Instead, nail a branch of evergreen to new rafters once you have moved in to bring good luck and protection. House leeks, or live forever, when planted on the walls and roof of a house, have been believed to protect against thunder and lightning since at least the middle of the 16th century. House leeks are still used in herbal remedies to cool fevers and burns, so it may be this property that is by extension thought to give the herb its power over lightning. elder, which is believed to keep away evil spirits and witches, improve fertility among stock, and generally possesses magical properties, is also commonly thought to protect against lightning. Feelings about the elder can be very mixed, and in parts of Britain, and Ireland at least, it is considered dangerous to build close to an elder tree, probably because of the same associations with pagan beliefs, witchcraft, and folk tales about tree spirits. Oh, don't go all Princess Mononoke on me now. The herbs sage, parsley, and rosemary grow best where the wife is the dominant partner. I'm thinking of a sassy response. You just can't compete with a Taurus, they're too stubborn. Other plants that are traditionally thought to protect against thunder and lightning include holly, which is also good against witches and nightmares, mistletoe, especially if hung at Christmas, hawthorn, gathered on Ascension Day, always by someone else and not from your own land, hazel, gathered on Palm Sunday. People would take crosses made of hazel twigs to be blessed by their priest. Dangling kingfisher. As early as the 16th century, in the United Kingdom, a stuffed kingfisher was hung in the house to protect the house from lightning. It was common to see an unfortunate specimen suspended by a piece of string from a beam. A dangling kingfisher also acted as a wind vane, pointing its beak into the wind. This may have been the origin of the superstition, and it probably worked outdoors, but it couldn't have been much use inside. Carrying a kingfisher feather in your pocket was also said to bring good luck. All things shiny. In parts of the United Kingdom, it is believed that when a storm is imminent, all reflective surfaces in the house need to be covered. This may have begun with a modicum of logic because metal objects do attract lightning. The superstition may simply have extended to a concern with all shiny things. Mirrors, cutlery, and even jugs or pitchers of water are dutifully covered by the superstitious during a storm. Another tradition is to put metal items such as fire tongs into the fire during a storm. Don't worry, Sai, we're not gonna put you in the fire. Witch Watch. If you want to fend off witches and the trouble they can bring, there are a number of measures you can take. For example, a variety of plants grown in the garden or hung in the house are said to keep away witches. They are used in different ways, including fennel stuffed on the keyhole or hung over a door, rosemary planted by the doorstep, rowan twigs or branches hung above drawers, beds, and cupboards, holly and ivy growing on any part of the house. In the home, wax from consecrated candles, such as those used at Candlemas or other religious ceremonies, may also protect against witches if sprinkled around the home. There is evidence of this practice from as early as the 16th century in Europe. Witches were often thought to steal horses and sometimes cows. They were said to ride them to exhaustion during the night. If I'm gonna ride anything to exhaustion, I assure you it's not gonna be a horse or a cow. But a stone with a naturally made hole that was hung in the stable was believed to keep witches out. Indoors, similar stones hung over the bed were thought to prevent sleepers from having nightmares. It was said that iron, particularly iron that was cold to the touch, repelled witches, so an iron horseshoe hung over the threshold kept them away from the house too. A knife, also a cold metal stuck into a door lintel or mast, if on a ship or boat, is good luck and also keeps witches away. Let thunder through. If your chosen method of home storm protection lets you down, there's another superstition you can try. Opening the doors and windows of a house during a storm is said to provide thunder and lightning easy passage through the house, so it'll do less damage. Oh, never interrupt the making of a bed, or you will be restless during the night. Baking bread. Bread baked on Good Friday is thought by some to protect against fire. In some coastal areas of the United Kingdom, where life and livelihood was very much connected to the sea, baking bread is believed to protect against shipwreck if a member of the family is at sea. The baked bread is traditionally hung in the kitchen, which keeps it dry and prevents it from going bad, to bring good luck in baking throughout the year. Bread baked on Good Friday can also be used as a cure for many diseases. In the unlikely event of a fire breaking out, despite the presence of Good Friday bread, an egg laid on Good Friday that is thrown into the heart of the blaze would surely douse the flames. Now that's something worth trying. Warding off vermin. In Devon, England, at the turn of the 20th century, some people believed in following a complicated means of keeping vermin out of the house. When you hear the first cuckoo in spring, take some of the earth from the place on which your right foot is standing and sprinkle it on the threshold of your front door, but speak of it to no one. Neither fleas, beetles, earwigs, or vermin of any sort will cross it. You can't get in here. In Ireland, hearing a dog howling at night when someone in the house is sick is a bad omen. Shut that door. Doors have a long history of superstitions, and many people are still superstitious about shutting all the internal doors in the house before leaving it, as well as shutting the back door before the front to prevent ill luck. In some areas, swinging on the door is still avoided in case the swinging blows up a storm at sea. There is a general belief that you should always leave the house through the door you used to enter it, or bad luck will inevitably follow. This is particularly important the first time you enter a house, even if it is not your own. In earlier centuries, most people used the back door more often than the front, because the front of the house was often reserved for guests and therefore always kept neat and clean. The front door was used for important events, such as bringing home a new baby for the first time, or carrying out a dead person on the journey to their final rest. If you make your bed on a Friday, you will have bad dreams. Do you plead guilty? Hanging horseshoes. Horseshoes are typically hung above a doorway for luck or in a bedroom to keep away nightmares. Most people in Europe and North America hang them with a gap facing downward. Many people in the United Kingdom hang them with the other way up to keep the luck from falling through the opening. Gypsies hang horseshoes with the points up, but grooms and blacksmiths hang them points down like a roof to ward off bad luck. Open the window. Until very recently in the United Kingdom, if someone were thought to be approaching death, others in the house would open all the doors and windows. This was said to allow the spirit of the person to speed on its journey and not be delayed on its journey to heaven by evil spirits. A similar belief persists today in some hospitals in the West. Nurses open a window when someone has died to allow their soul to leave. Traditionally, sometimes boxes, drawers, and other locks were undone too, probably so that everything possible was open. When a body taken from the house for a funeral, many people left the door ajar until the return of the mourners. Someone else was asked to remain in the house in case of intruders. If they failed to do this, it was thought that there would soon be another death in the house. Never sharpen a knife after sunset, or an enemy or a thief will enter the house. The Emperor's Awake. In China, some people often paint the character Hu, meaning luck, on their doors for general good luck. They also paint images of door gods based on 2 guards who stayed awake for 7 nights to guard their emperor tiling from noisy demons who had disturbed his sleep. After 7 nights, the emperor decided he could no longer ask them to stay awake. He had their images painted on his bedroom door instead. These worked just as well in keeping the demons away. When the cock crows. In 19th century Britain, many people believed that a cock crowing at a farmhouse door meant a stranger or unexpected visitor would soon arrive. Alternatively, it was sometimes said that the crowing foretold the arrival of some news. A cock crowing at night meant the news would be bad. Even in the 19th and 20th century, a crowing cock was still used as a symbol representing a messenger. Other signs that predicted a visitor included accidentally leaving the lid off a teapot while making tea, finding a tea leaf or stalk floating in your cup of tea, sweeping out of the door after dark. These pages are stuck together. There. Finding soot hanging from the fire grate, a cat washing its face and paws in the parlor. If the cat washes itself on the doorstep, a member of the clergy will call. Dropping cutlery, and depending on the item dropped, one could be very specific about the kind of person to be expected. although the symbolism is not universal. One English language rhyme goes: knife falls, gentleman calls, fork falls, lady calls, spoon falls, baby calls. Tools of the trade. If a pair of scissors, a knife, or a needle falls to the floor and sticks upright, you will have a visitor before long. Is, I believe, especially popular with dressmakers, milliners, and other people for whom these are the tools of the trade. Dropping a pair of scissors means your lover is unfaithful. If the scissors fall on both points, it indicates a wedding. If they fall on one point, it signifies a death. A spoon falling hollow side up may mean a surprise. Hollow side down means disappointment. In almost all cases, someone else must pick up the dropped item, not the person who dropped it. And as with knives, if you give someone a pair of scissors as a gift, they should give you a coin in return to avoid cutting the friendship. No one's ever given me scissors or a knife for a gift. Be wary of what you carry. Many omens predicting future events for a home or its occupants involved people coming into the house, and this could be influenced by what they had with them. For example, carrying a hoe into a house is bad luck. If you do, walking out backward with it averts the bad luck. Get that hoe out of my house. Oh. Never take eggs into your house after sunset, or they will not hatch, and they could bring misfortune to the owners of the house. Bringing eggs into your house foretells death, and unfortunately, there does not seem to be an antidote to most superstitions involving dying. It's like a death. Death in my family. In Japan, if a beggar comes to your house, you must throw salt on the doorstep after he leaves to avoid bad luck and misfortune. Precautions indoors. Once you are indoors, there are some actions to be avoided too. For example, it is unlucky to shake hands across a table. Putting certain items on the table, such as shoes or an umbrella, brings general hardship. You mean apart from, why would anybody in the right mind put shoes on the table? Dropping your umbrella on the floor, however, prophesies that there will be a murder in your house. Well, hopefully not for as long as we live there. Opening it will also bring bad luck, and holding an open umbrella over your head indoors means that there will be a death in the house before the year is out. Use of umbrellas became widespread only in the early 19th century, so superstitions relating to them are relatively recent inventions. I think I'm about done. I'm having a trouble concentrating. Maybe one or two more. Mirrors and clocks. In many cultures, mirrors and clocks are still believed to be powerful omens. For example, a bride should not see herself in a mirror in her full outfit before the ceremony. And a broken mirror is considered to bring 7 years bad luck. Although this sometimes is said to be avoidable if you don't look directly into the broken pieces, then dispose of them in running water. To break a mirror was once an expensive loss, so the superstition may have stemmed from this. This regrettable situation. Both mirrors and clocks are often covered as a mark of respect when there is a death in the house, probably as a sign that the person has no more worldly needs and times irrelevant for him or her. A clock falling or stopping is often said to herald the death of a member of the family at the same moment. Clocks chiming in the wrong number of chimes may hold the same meaning, and this has often been said to happen when an important or a famous person dies. This reportedly happened when Marie Antoinette was executed. It is bad luck to go back in a home if you have forgotten something. If you return inside, be sure to look in a mirror and smile. Yes, it is extremely important to check yourself out to ward off bad luck. Passing on the stairs. If a house has more than one floor, be very careful on the stairs. Passing someone else will bring you both bad luck, or possibly cause you to quarrel or stop being friends. Greeting and touching each other is sometimes said to avoid disaster. The superstition may be based on a sense of courtesy, because it is sometimes difficult or awkward to pass on a stairway, especially if it is a narrow one. Stumbling down a set of stairs also brings bad luck, perhaps for obvious reasons, but stumbling up them, at least for a woman, means she will soon marry. If she wishes this to come true, she must take care not to look behind her as she continues up the stairs. And if you don't want to get married, just walk back down again. Alright, well. I'm done for the night. And I shall have my dinner at bath now.